Good evening, everyone, wherever you are. Um, Hope you're having a great week. It's really hot out here where I am in Texas. It's in the 90s. It's been like that all week. I kind of wish to be back home in Boston. Boston's usually not this hot. I did hear it was pretty hot last week, though. So, but today, want to do a quick live stream, talk about a few things. Um, I want to talk about arguably the worst Marvel TV series of all time. Um, First we thought it was She-Hulk, but this just takes the cake. I already magically knew as soon as this character was introduced, nobody was gonna like this character. Same thing with the other characters that they introduced throughout the new phases of the MCU. The MCU has gone really downhill after Endgame. I don't think they have any hits. They only had like a few one and done hits like Spider-Man, the Deadpool Wolverine movie, and I heard the last Guardians movie was good. But besides that, they just haven't had any decent hits. And the fact that I think today they announced that this marks like the end of Phase 5, and they're going towards the next phase. It was either Phase 5 or Phase 4. I forgot what phase they said it marks the end of today, but I still don't understand how any of these projects they release since 2020 has anyone amped for the next Avengers movie, which is Doomsday and Secret Wars. So honestly, they have to pray that Fantastic Four is a good movie because that movie needs to be good for them because it will set the stage for the Avengers movie and the next projects they have releasing. But today I want to take a look at this video review that Neurotic did for Ironheart. Neurotic, he's pretty deep in the comic book world. Um, I like his videos when he does anything comic related analysis. But today I wanted to watch this video and react to it with you guys. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? All right, here we go. All right, let's watch this video.
Dominic Thorne is back as brilliant engineer Riri. Is that right?
That's how you can tell they're reading it off the top. Like they don't care. Like they don't care. They're just doing this just because it checks a box. Like this is. And another thing, like, this is what you gotta understand. This character is supposed to be a quote unquote replacement for Iron Man. I think this character came out during the all new, all different Marvel. I think that's when this character came out. The same time when they made when they made Falcon, Captain America. Like like all of these were just like propaganda. They just did it just because they were black, and literally these comics did not sell. But let's continue.
Riri Williams.
How do you think Ironheart will shift the narrative for the coming generations?
Yikes.
I love that weird looks like us, you know what I mean? Long nails, long hair, popping out here.
Yeah, this is what's marketing the show right now. Yeah, this is what's marketing the show right now, guys.
After starting on a Marvel show, like, where do I go from here?
The fuck was that?
It's directed by two black women.
Black Girl Magic! I think we have a very special message. I think you gotta recognize who this is.
For 400 years, that word has kept us down.
The Rock's a clown for using. The Rock is a clown for using this clip. He's a clown for using this clip. But yeah, I think because they said that there was they did a video of Robert Downey FaceTiming Riri to I guess promote the show, kind of pass on the mantle, but obviously that wasn't enough for the show, obviously.
Now we are to the big leagues. Kid, not turning back.
Does that make you feel like one of the original Avengers? Say that.
Get on the bandwagon. It's here. We're here. Tony?
Yeah, you're here, but no one's interested. I hate when these actors do this, just because people, like, when the fan base, like, clearly doesn't want the project, they'll always say this in interviews or in social media tweets. They'll say deal with it, it's here to stay. Like, you can't talk to your fan base like that. Like, you really cannot.
Tony's on the bandwagon, so you know what's the problem.
Exactly.
RDJ is here. It's nice.
Yeah, see when you're promoting something with this type of attitude and you're talking to the fans like this, it comes off as really insufferable, and people are just not going to care about the project or take interest. Because look how the MCU started, and like look where we are now. Like, when you really look at things, you just go like, you really got to ask yourself, like, how the hell did we get here? How did we get here?
It's here. Good morning.
You went full retard, man.
Yeah. This this is when they This is when they did. I don't know if you're gonna show the video, but this is when they made Robert Downey FaceTime the actress playing her. I don't know what her name is. For like, I think there was like during the day Ironheart was going to premiere. When, mind you, they literally promoted this show like a few weeks, like I think it was like 3 weeks before the premiere of the show. And usually Marvel doesn't do that for the stuff.
An imbecile. Not the dumbest mother that ever lived. Just farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off. It's how science, man. It's art form. You an artist.
Oh my god, thank you.
Never go for a retard.
Nerdrotic.com.
Friends, Disney Marvel's had a rough time of late.
The smoke detector sound was wild.
Almost a year since the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, the billion-dollar box office smash, and as
This was the last decent project that came out from Marvel that made them money. This was what, last year? Even though like I still think the movie was, I personally still think the first Deadpool movie is the best one. I watched it. It was okay. I feel like it was just cameo porn, honestly. But you know, it made money. You know, Deadpool, Wolverine, two characters that people wanted to see. You know, when you give the fans characters that people want to see, they're gonna show up, instead of you forcing shit down their throat like Ironheart.
predicted, it was just an anomaly and it would be right back to the regular scheduled Disney Marvel programming, and it's been all downhill from there.
I need to watch a video about Thunderbolts. Like, I just don't understand why.
That are radically altered in some form or another, be it the passing of a mantle or just an outright race and gender swap, so these characters can reflect the Los Angeles that they live in today. We've gotten Theater Kids Marvel with Agatha all along.
The gayest Project Marvel has.
I don't know who the hell this clown is, but like, I seen this, like, I think he did this for like that Star Wars show, the Acolyte. Like, this guy is a freaking clown, and I feel like he does this on purpose, just to like bash the fan base for both Marvel and Star Wars. I feel like he does this on purpose.
Ever done.
Yup.
Which admittedly is the best performing Disney Marvel thing since Deadpool and Wolverine, coming in 45th on the Nielsen Top 100.
Yeah, well, there's no accounting for taste.
But after that, Captain African American flopped, Daredevil flopped, the Thunderbolts flopped. And you know the House of Mouse and Marvel, the House of Out of Ideas, was expecting at least one win in there. A win they didn't get, and this brings us to Ironheart. Maybe Kevin Feige was thinking he could sneak this in between a couple of hits. Turns out that was
Not a great plan.
not only not a great plan, the worst plan in the history of plans. If you recall, Ironheart was announced on December 10th, 2020, and filming was completed in November of 2022. And then Kevin Feige actually watched it.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
I feel like if Kevin Feige were to retire after Endgame came out, I feel like, you know, his legacy would have been intact. You know, he would have been hailed as, like, you know, people would have respected him a lot more, in my opinion, because he's been there from the beginning. The fact that he's still around and he's like the one pushing all this slop for the MCU is just insane to me. Do I fully believe that it's 100% him? No. I would arguably say that maybe most of the stuff I feel like he has maybe like a 60% in terms of like he wants this stuff to happen. I feel like that other 40% is probably coming from these activists, these people talking in his ear, telling him that, yo, we need characters like this. Oh, we need to send a message. We need more representation, all that bullshit. But overall, yes, he is pushing this stuff, but I don't believe he is like fully to blame. That's just my personal opinion.
And after 2.5 years and almost a dozen attempts to re-edit this turd, they can delay it no longer, and they finally released a trailer in the shortest amount of time in Marvel's history and herstory between any MCU project's first trailer and its release date.
Iconic.
Which was ratioed into oblivion.
Yeah, this thing was ratioed to hell. I remember when this trailer came out, this thing was ratioed to hell. Not worse than Snow White, but still, like, I just don't understand why when Disney releases projects like this and they see numbers, they see the reaction like this on things like YouTube or in the comments, like, I just don't understand why they don't either pull the plug or delay it so they can make some significant reviews and edits, because this is going to be bad. And I feel like maybe they just can't, it's too late, but at the same time it's just like, me personally, if I see things like this, especially in regards for Snow White, because I think Snow White was like, the numbers for Snow White, it was like, I think it was like 100K to like 1.5 million dislikes, something like that. I am immediately pulling the plug, because that's something that cannot release whatsoever.
For good reason.
Iconic.
Because it turns out adapting an unpopular character from an unpopular comic that was canceled multiple times.
Iconic.
And then deciding to have the genius.
So like I said before, let's go back to that stat. Where is it? Let's go back to that stat. Hold on.
And after 2.5 years and almost a dozen attempts to re-edit this turd, they can delay it no longer, and they finally released a trailer in the shortest amount of time in Marvel's history and canceled multiple times.
Iconic.
Oh shit, it was right there. Alright. So, yeah, like he said, Ironheart was announced back in 2020, I believe, and filming of this was finished in 2022. This thing's been on the shelf for 3 years, and they haven't released it. Because they, like he said, they probably sat down and watched this shit, and they're just like, damn, this is really bad. And like he says here, this is based off of a character that is not even popular and did not even resonate with the fans whatsoever. And you gotta understand, this is a literal, like Eric July says, this is a tokenized character of an already established character, basically. Because Iron Man already exists. And what Robert Downey Jr. did for the Iron Man IP in general, it skyrocketed not only Iron Man, but Marvel in general. Like, without Robert Downey Jr., the MCU would not be a thing, arguably. But yeah, it's just insane to me that they do characters like Ironheart, America Chavez, and what was the other character that they did? Just those two characters in general. Like, these are not popular characters, but yet they want to bring them into the franchise. And mind you, they brought these two characters into the franchise before the MCU version of the X-Men, their version of Fantastic Four, Blade, and I believe this Ghost Rider, and there's other characters I can name. But it's just insane to me that they really pushed hard for this character, and it just mind boggles me, like, why? Like I really want to understand, like, who is in the writing room, like who is in the Marvel room coming up with these ideas, saying like, yo, we need this character is going to bring in a lot of more fans and a lot more revenue. Like, they need to be removed. They need to be removed and blacklisted from, I wouldn't say Hollywood, but I would say they need to be blacklisted from comic book properties. I'll say that.
From an unpopular comic that was canceled multiple times.
Iconic.
And then deciding to have the genius idea to adapt it into a television show that cost between $100 and $150 million.
$150 million.
Coincidentally, greenlighting it right after the events of the Summer of Love, purely as a virtue signal, adds to the Olympus Mons of evidence that Bob Iger and Kevin Feige
don't know what the they're doing.
And despite Kevin Feige himself reportedly saying that Marvel feels more like homework than entertainment,
yeah, that's literally what it is now. Because before, back in the early phases of Phase 1 through 3, the MCU didn't really feel like homework. You know, every time when an MCU movie was going to come out, everyone was so excited to like go see these movies. Like on around April, Mayish, everyone would race to the theaters just to watch these movies. And now it really does just feels like homework, because there's no overarching story, there's no plot. Everything just feels random. Like even with Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool vs. Wolverine, even though they were good movies, those were just like one and done standalone stories for their movies. It wasn't like anything that's gonna like branch off into something more. Back in the early phases, yes, you can argue that those movies were their own separate properties. At the same time, it's still throwing aspects of that. This is going to expand upon the story, the character, and the entire universe. This, ever since, when did this new phase start? Black Widow. Ever since the beginning of Black Widow, nothing has even started a path towards what is these new movies going to lead towards. I believe the only hint we got was from what? I guess you could say No Way Home, because this is technically the multiverse saga, even though the multiverse is a stupid gimmick, but basically they're saying that Fantastic Four is going to be like the beginning of it. It's literally going to be the beginning of it, and then Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to end off the series, and it's going to be like a sort of soft reboot for the MCU. But yeah, I just don't understand why they would do this character. Why would they would do this project?
Ironheart requires homework, but it's really not that much, according.
All right, so for Ironheart, so these are the projects you have to watch for Ironheart. You have to watch the first 2 movies of Iron Man, the first 2 movies of Doctor Strange, and the first 2 movies of Black Panther and What If. I personally never watched What If. I think I've seen all of these. Obviously, you know which ones are the bad ones. Multiverse of Madness, Wakanda Forever, terrible movies. I also didn't really like Iron Man 3, personally. But I wouldn't say Iron Man 3 is on the level of these 2 movies, but why would you need to watch Doctor Strange? I just realized that. Why would you need to watch those 2? And that's another thing I don't understand about the MCU now. They're introducing certain characters in projects that just don't make sense. I believe in Ironheart they're introducing Mephisto. Why would you introduce a character like that in Ironheart? That just makes no sense. It makes more sense to introduce a character like that in a Doctor Strange movie. If they did I don't know if they're doing a WandaVision sequel, but something like that. Or even granted an X-Men project. But why would you introduce this in Ironheart? That makes no sense.
To Disney Plus, all you need to watch is Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and What If. But there is some good news. You don't have to watch any of that or this show. So, after almost a half a decade from conception to excretion, Ironheart has arrived. And unsurprisingly, we have to break this meme out one more time because our expectations were low, but holy f***. Keeping in mind, Kevin Feige in these last 5 years had every opportunity to shit-can this for the write-off, but instead, he made the worst mistake.
So DC made a live-action Hispanic Batgirl movie, and they shit-canned that movie, and I'm really happy they did that, because I don't know who the hell asked for that type of project. I just don't understand why they didn't do the same thing with this project. They should have done what they did to Batgirl. What Warner Bros. Did to Batgirl, they should have done with this, in my opinion. I feel like they didn't do it because, granted, Batgirl did cost was cheaper to make. I believe Batgirl was like under 70 mil, and like you said, this was like over 150 million dollars to make. Yeah, 150 million dollars. Jesus Christ, that is wow for this piece of shit. But yeah, I don't understand why they didn't cancel this shit. Like it's mind-boggling to me.
Mistake imaginable by actually releasing it, and no, it's not being undersold. After 3 episodes, this is by far the worst live-action Marvel ever made. It is indeed the Marvel's acolyte, although maybe not as funny. At best, it's 25 minutes of content stretched across an hour and a half, not counting the 18 minutes collectively of credits, which were sweet relief. The show can be best described as boring, frequently interrupted with the purest forms of cringe, and unintentionally hilarious due to the portrayal of diverse characters in the most stereotypical way possible. I've put this off long enough. Let's talk about Ironheart. Now, credit where credit is due, a show that clearly knows it's one and done, doesn't waste any time, and alienates the audience right off the bat, because this is how it starts.
Here we go, okay.
So yeah, I've seen this clip on Twitter. This, mind you, this is the very first scene for the series. Like the very first scene. And just listen to what she says.
Just to let you know, your girlfriend will be bigger than Jobs.
Right.
Bigger than Gates.
Right.
Bigger than Pym.
Right.
Bigger than Stark.
Yeah.
Come on.
So basically she's saying she's going to be bigger than Bill Gates.
Right. Bigger than Pym.
Right.
Bigger than Stark.
Yeah.
Come.
So she's saying she's going to be bigger than Bill Gates. She's going to be bigger than Hank Pym, the first Ant-Man. Bigger than Tony Stark. This is literally how the show starts, guys. This is literally how it starts.
No. The only thing your girl finna be is as big as...
Wild. He is wild for having that.
Potentially be as big of a villain as Bill Gates. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, Riri's friend Natalie says this.
What do you want? More than anything. A knife, thorn, his hammer.
And his hammer? Well, I guess that's on brand for Disney.
Flick too hard, damn it!
Anyway, most of the first episode is dedicated to getting to know Riri Williams, and I gotta say up front, she is the definition of grace and humility.
I'm here because I can be the greatest inventor of my generation. I'm gonna need the equivalent of a whole vibranium mountain to be great. Due respect, Detroit, what do I get out of matriculation? Some job in Palo Alto with a tiny window and a bunch of guys I have to pretend like? I wanna build something undeniable. You want me to be small, but I refuse.
Now, it's here where she gets called out on her and it's also a...
So, I just don't get this. So, this scene makes no sense. You go to fucking MIT. You're there on a fucking scholarship. Like, who wrote this?
You want me to be small, but I refuse.
Now, it's here where she gets called out on her and it's also an unintentional description of the show.
That's a hot pile of garbage.
But then it's right back to it.
You, Riri Williams, are making an iron suit.
People are obsessed with them. I could build 1,000 other things, and no one would care. But if I could build one of them, better than everyone else, people got...
So, let's replay that. Let's replay that. Because I want you guys to listen to what she said.
Back to it.
You, Riri Williams, are making an iron suit.
People are obsessed with them. I could build 1,000 other things, and no one would care. But if I could build one of them, better than everyone else, people got no choice but to respect me.
So, she claims that she can build 1,000 other things, and no one would care. But she wants to build something, mind you, that something that's already a thing, but better, quote unquote better. This is not innovation. And mind you, just so you guys understand, she is a supposed genius on a full ride at MIT.
Better than everyone else, people got no choice but to respect me.
So I feel like you understand that if you were to build something unique, look, because you just said you can build 1,000 other things. if you build something unique on your own, people will have more respect to you than you just building something that already exists. This character, I don't think she understands what Tony Stark represents.
And it wouldn't be Disney Marvel if they weren't taking a shot at the legacy character that she was supposed to be replacing.
I need cash, money. Do you think Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he was?
So she's trying to say Tony Stark wouldn't be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire, if he didn't have money. So he's gonna play this scene from the first Iron Man movie that literally explains who exactly Tony Stark is.
Wasn't a billionaire?
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a bunch of scraps.
Still one of the best superhero movies to come out. But this scene right here, like I remember this scene. This is when Obadiah was trying to make his own suit, but they couldn't harness the energy that Tony had in his chest, and they couldn't understand how to build it. And you gotta understand, if you've seen the first Iron Man movie, he was in a cave, held captive, and he created not only the energy for his chest, that mini arc reactor, he also created the prototype iron suit to get out of the cave.
How come you're not working at, like, I don't know, Stark Industries or something?
He contributed immensely to the field, so I won't roast Tony Stark off rip.
What? Did you guys hear that? Listen to what she says. Listen to what she says.
With a bunch of scraps!
Listen to what she says.
Like, I don't know, Stark Industries or something.
He contributed immensely to the field, so I won't roast Tony Stark off rip.
So because Tony Stark contributed a lot to the field, she won't come at him. But again, I don't think this character and the people who wrote the show understand Tony. Let's do this again. Let's play the scene again.
Roast Tony Stark off rip. But I don't have $1 billion.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a bunch of scraps.
So he's played it in slow motion so you guys can understand. Tony Stark built his first iron suit in a cave without no advanced technology. He literally just used scraps of metal and things that he could find that the hostiles gave him.
But it doesn't end there, because the crack, or more accurately described, on-crack writing team at Disney Marvel attempts to make Riri even more endearing by having her get expelled for selling completed tests to students.
You sold completed assignments to students at every school in the area. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually pretty accurate for characters, for people like this. I'm not gonna lie, pretty accurate.
After that, Riri steals the Ironheart suit that she thinks she's entitled to because she built it with money from a grant.
She built that with her own grant money.
And she flies home to Chirac with the help of the MIT AI, who's a gay pencil.
Sup, I'm Trevor, MIT's teaching robot and virtual operational resource, and your very own AI assistant.
Wait, what? What'd he say? What'd he say?
It's a gay pencil.
Sup, I'm Trevor, MIT's teaching robot and virtual operational resource, and your very own AI assistant.
Gay eye assistant. Wow. Wow, that's somebody better trademark that.
Wait.
Now,
gay eye assistant. Wow.
Events, she runs across another race-swapped character from the comic books, the Hood, who we will now call Da Hood, and his League of Extraordinary They-Thems, who will get...
Is that Eric Andre?
Hood, and his League of Extraordinary...
They got... What the hell is he doing here? What? What? Why does he look like he's like, they're like, it's like they're filming and he was just like passing by. Bro, why are you here? I'm not gonna lie. I think I kind of want to watch the show just because I want to see what his character is about in this. This is hilarious.
Extraordinary they-thems who we'll get to later. And just in case for a moment you forgot that Riri Williams was a genius, they decide to remind you again.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius, but I said to myself, Parker, you gotta meet this kid up close.
Quick reminder, that was a line of dialogue that was written by a human, delivered by a human, sound edited by a human, edited by a human, and approved by a human, and actually released by other humans. After some slight apprehension, Riri Williams decides to knowingly join this criminal organization when they promise they don't hurt anybody.
Look, I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's not like that.
Okay, so what do you do?
Theft, extortion, breaking and entering.
See, it's...
What the hell did he just say? What?
Don't hurt anybody.
Look, I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's not like that.
Okay, so what do you do?
Theft, extortion, breaking and entering.
Who wrote this show? Oh, man. Question for everyone. Do you think, from what you're seeing, do you find this worse than She-Hulk?
See, it's fine. Now, most of the next 2 episodes dedicate an excruciating amount of time reconnecting Riri Williams with her dead best friend who's now an AI. So for the sake of your valuable time and our collective sanity, I'll try to get through this briefly. The one component Riri Williams needed to get her suit working again was an AI, which she was able to pull off after knowingly taking money from a criminal organization. While she was trying to replicate the AI of the isolationist ethno-state Wakanda,
this is not a hero. This is a villain. She's not a hero. She's a villain.
Through plugging her brain into her laptop, she fell asleep thinking about her dead best friend, which manifested her into artificial intelligence. I think at this point it's prudent to point out Disney Marvel's efforts to show the lived experience of marginalized people. Because it turns out Riri's stepdad, Gary, and her friend Natalie were killed in a drive-by shooting.
Message!
Oh, yeah, that's so relatable. Wow.
And now Natalie is back as an AI and an acronym.
You could call me Neuro-Autonomous Technical Assistant and Laboratory Intelligence Entity instead.
Give me some of the pain and let me die.
Admittedly, the AI Natalie is a far more likable character than Riri Williams. What's the message there? Well, you'll have to ask Disney Marvel. And their scenes together can be summed up with this.
You know nothing about this man. Don't plot at me.
Best friend, that's my best friend. I know best friend, that's my best friend.
This is the MCU now, everyone. This is the MCU in the 2020s. Just so you guys understand.
That's my best friend. Hi.
Yeah, will you upgrade the suit?
Now, Riri still needs some components for the suit she stole, and this brings us to the trademark Disney Marvel turning a formidable character from the comics into an ineffectual male. And it also might be one of the saddest examples of a downward career trajectory. Alden Ehrenreich, the former Han Solo from Solo, hashtag Solo lost money, now playing, and we're just going to cut to the chase on this one, Ezekiel Zeke Stane, son of Obadiah Stane, who keeps his pop's remains in a Ziploc bag.
So this was very disrespectful to Obadiah from the first Iron Man movie. I just don't understand why they did this.
The hell, Joe? Why is he in a baggie?
We weren't close.
And now the supervillain from the comic that looked like this now looks and acts like this.
Heather?
Hey, neighbor.
Hello.
You could stop doing your dog poop on my lawn.
Are you crying?
Sorry, sometimes it just happens. It's totally involuntary. And you come knocking on my door with that same iron energy. It's a non-starter, Riri.
Why is there a sweaty middle-aged white man at my door?
Like I said, everyone, this is Marvel. This is the MCU in the 2020s. Even though this feels like I'm watching a BET show.
I'm 36, respectfully.
But at least there's a great bonding scene between Riri and Zeke to Alanis Morissette.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Now, I'm skipping past a couple of characters because they're too boring to mention, but the cast is rounded out with DeHood's gang, the Groom Patrol. And most of them are based on characters from the comics that are changed just a little bit. There's Cousin John, who's John King. He doesn't look like his last name is King, but you never know. Then there's the Blood Siblings, who are based on the Blood Brothers, who started out looking like this in the comics. And while using some creative license, there's a slight variation from the source material. Now they're played by a couple of lesbians, who in a moment of rare accurate representation are shown in a flashback beating the hell out of each other. But let's keep in mind this is Disney Marvel.
Wait. Okay, I can see. Alright. I can clearly see she's a female, but. Huh. Okay. Okay.
Marvel, and of course they're the Muscle, and they beat the hell out of every dude in the first.
And these two are the wow, they're supposed to be the Muscle in the group. Okay.
3 episodes. Then there's Clown, which is an appropriate name for a character in this show. Oh, and Eric Andre is in this.
Why is he here? Why is he here?
For some reason, and I guess his career has seen better days, playing Rampage, again, just a minor tweak from the comic books. He ends up...
And that's the thing I don't understand about the MCU. Like, whenever they try to get certain characters to play, like, minor roles from the comics, they never look like the comic book variations. They just... they literally just use their names, that's it. And I just don't understand why.
Dying, and his character arc is best summed up by...
This is funny. This is funny. Man, I love this show, man. I love this show. I still watch clips of it time to time.
My good friend Az is mean. And last but definitely not least, there's Shea Coulee.
This is haunting to look at.
Slug, who looks like this in the comics.
So this is what this is what they're supposed to look like. This is what they're supposed to look like.
And I have to admit, the resemblance is uncanny.
I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm kind of what a magic person will swat at. Toot.
And for the 5s and...
I'm just so confused on who was the casting director for this show. Like, it just makes no sense. But clearly you can see that obviously they casted some of these characters just to check a box. Mind you, this is Disney, people. This is Disney. And they got 2 lesbians and a dude dressed as a whatever in a show like this. Mind you, the MCU is not only aimed at adults, it's aimed at young kids. And they have characters like this in a Marvel project.
And tens of people who actually watch this show, you may be surprised to find out that this is his first acting gig.
It's created by yours truly. Old meets new on steroids. Wait a minute. I lost comms with Riri. Roll call. You there? Hello?
So after DeHood and the Merry Suicide Squad pull off a series of capers robbing the rich, which is best described by everyone's pal Epic Mike on Twitter, all the action in the first 3
Wow, of course the 2 females are beating up these guys.
Episodes of Ironheart are the poor, disenfranchised, innocent criminal gang beating up and shooting working-class security guards. But they all work for billionaires, so it's justified.
Like, seriously, who is this show made for? Like, who literally said, "Yeah, I cannot wait for this Ironheart show"? Like, seriously, ever since she was introduced in the last Panther movie, she was not even likable. Like, the first scene we get of her is like she's like hustling someone for their money, and she's a supposed and she's supposed to be a genius.
But what the Social Justice League doesn't know is the Hood is in league with Mephisto. You know, the character that everyone thought was going to be in WandaVision until they found out that showrunner Jack Schaefer had never heard of him. Well, now they're going to waste him.
So, yes, you look at this character. Why is he in a project like Ironheart? Makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. If you see a character like this makes more sense to introduce a character, his character in a project like you said, like WandaVision, or in like a Doctor Strange movie. Him being here makes no freaking sense.
In this show, which is a shame because he's played by Sacha Baron Cohen, who coincidentally finally settled his divorce with Isla Fisher, and all he has to pay her is $75 million, and now we know why he took the gig. Anywho, along with extorting all these rich people, the Hood is forcing them to sign a contract which I'm sure has something to do with their soul. You know, the thing that will be slowly draining out of anybody who's not a seasoned pro watching this. And to save what's left of mine, let's get this over with. After the super intelligent AI Natalie susses out eloquently that the Hood is sketchy,
I sense some crazy energy radiating off Parker.
How can an AI sense magical energy? Where, like, I don't think the writing team fully understands how fantasy works. This is an artificial intelligence. How can she sense magic? Because I'm pretty sure in the MCU it was never, they never said that technology could sense magic. So, explain this, MCU. Explain this, Marvel.
I don't know what it is, but it ain't from around here. I think Parker is wrapped up in some sketchy shit.
I don't know what gave it away, possibly all the robbery, extortion, and attempted murder. The super genius Riri Williams comes up with an unnecessarily overcomplicated plan to get a piece of the Hood's cloak to see how it works. And she plans to do it during the Agents of Antifa's final caper, which of course goes sideways. By extorting Hunter Mason, an evil rich guy who just wants to grow food. The Hood conveniently stands still while monologuing so Riri Williams can cut off a piece of his cape. She accidentally sets off an alarm and doesn't lift a finger while the Hood kills Hunter Mason. And then she f***s off so the Hood can...
She's a villain. She's not a hero. Why are we supposed to care about this hero? She's a villain.
Kill over a dozen working class security guards. Then she gets caught red-handed by Cousin John with a piece of cloak who
The Punisher has more compassion than this character. I think people will agree with me on that.
Doesn't throw any of the knives he's specialized at throwing while fighting her, and then she leaves him to die. Our hero. But not to worry because she feels really bad about her deliberate decision. And the last lines of episode 3 best describe the character of Riri Williams.
Riri, please talk to me. Good?
Audience that's meant to lift up and represent marginalized people. Features a protagonist who's an unlikable, insufferable, selfish narcissist who's consumed with being iconic, who lies, cheats, steals, and is
I just don't like this. How are we supposed to care about a character who's literally doing shit like this? And mind you, this is money that they extorted from people. And no, people, this is not a BET series. This is a Disney series.
Steals and is responsible for at least 2 deaths. Her stepfather and her best friend get killed in a drive-by shooting, and every other character is a one-dimensional DEI cardboard cutout. The only question I have after watching this is, what does Marvel have against what they call marginalized people? And all this is thanks to the worst writing and acting in Marvel history going back to the Electric Company. Except for this, which may go down in history as the best bit of acting of all time.
Quite frankly, you have been a horrible steward of Stark's legacy.
Yes. Let's play that again. Yes. I like that guy.
History as the best bit of acting of all time.
Quite frankly, you have been a horrible steward of Stark's legacy.
Acting.
Yes. And I love how Patrick Stewart. I love he added this Patrick Stewart right here.
most things Disney Marvel of late, meaning the last half decade, the cycle will repeat over this monstrosity. Fans will be blamed. The accusations of review bombing have already...
Yeah, I was seeing articles going around saying that if you don't like Ironheart, you're supposedly racist and you hate women of color. They always do this for whenever something is not doing good. You gotta remember, they're talking to the fans. They're talking to the fans. They're talking to people who pay money for a movie ticket or for their subscription. These are the people that they're talking to. I want you to keep that in mind.
He started, and I would agree in this case, you gotta be kidding me. And once all this stalls out, we'll probably start it all over again.
And then here comes the Fantastic Four, led by Sue Storm. And this is gonna be the next project. This is actually coming out this month. I think this comes out I think this comes out next weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And they need this to be a hit.
With the Fantastic Four, featuring the female Silver Surfer, which I
keep forgetting that they gender swapped the Silver Surfer. I just don't understand why they do.
Ironheart was going to be terrible. That's why they barely promoted it and dumped it all within 8 days. Kevin, buddy, you should have had the balls to cancel it because you keep repeating the same mistakes. Ironheart is indeed the most comic.
The people the actors that are in this show, do they sit down and like watch this series? Like I really need to understand if they do this, because like half of them have to know like damn, this shit is bad. Like they have to know that. Like I find it hard to believe that they sit and watch this and say, yeah, this shit is fire. Like it absolutely, it's just mind-boggling to me.
Accurate representation of a horrible character from an awful comic made into an even worse streaming show. And the only thing it will be remembered for is being an iconic failure.
Nerderotic.com.
See, that was a good video from Nerderotic. But this is what I don't understand. Usually when certain things like let's say like a book or a script that turns into film or a series, usually the source material has had either good sales and great word of mouth. Great word of mouth with the fans. I mean that the fans love this character and they love the world. This is not the case for Ironheart. This book did not sell whatsoever. This character is not even popular. When people think of Marvel characters, this character is never talked about. Even though I don't really like Miles Morales, even he is talked about more than this character. Nobody knows anything about this character. This character, America Chavez, Miss Marvel, these are characters that literally nobody asked for. Like, no one literally asked for these characters. But then again, we know why they did it. To check a box. But yeah, great video from Nerderotic. I'm not here to tell you guys to don't watch Ironheart. I'll leave that to your discretion if you want to watch it. Your eyes will bleed. I will tell you that. Before we move on to the next video, I do want to look at something really quick. I believe Marvel Rivals revealed Phoenix for the next character to play as. And I also want to look at something from the First Ascendant. So let's look at Marvel Rivals first. Let's turn the volume down a little bit. I think, yeah, she's gonna be a duelist. Oh wow, this is #1 trending in gaming right now. So I also heard when they did the update for Marvel, they also said that there's gonna be like some sort of like combination attacks. Like they said that Hela is gonna have like the symbiote in some of her attacks now. I seen a video of that. I'm surprised she's a duelist. I thought she was gonna be like a healer. Alright, so this is her ult. Oh wow, she can just fly through people. So this is coming out next week. Yeah, looks pretty good. In the trailer they showed Null, the symbiote god. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get back on tomorrow. Right? It's been a while. I've mostly just been playing Stellar Blade, but I need to get back on that. And but yeah, it looks pretty good. Mind you guys, the MCU did Ironheart before they showed the X-Men. I want you to keep that in mind, guys. I just want to see her ult again. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then let's look at the first Ascendant really quick. The Nier Automata crossover that they're doing. I still need to play this game. So I'm guessing the characters from this game are gonna their skins are, you can put them on the Descendants in the game. That's what it's looking like. Looks like it's going to be 2B and A2 from what it seems. Damn, this comes out all the way in August? Oh, this is coming out soon. Damn. Yeah, it looks like that their costumes are going to be you can put them on your Descendants. That's pretty cool. It's basically the same thing as how they did it in Stellar Blade. Finally got one of the costumes in the Great Desert right now. Yeah, shout out to the first Ascendant. Like I said, the East is really dominating in gaming. There's a lot of projects coming out. Like I said, Project TH, Blood Message, probably my two. He made a good video the other day about yeah, it's right here. So this has to do with like why we need
in my videos often talk about the casual fan.
So this goes back to what I've been saying before, that we really need to go back into gatekeeping anime. There's a lot of activists and tourists coming around who are not really into anime. They're just coming in and trying to change it. And yeah, he explains it very well in this video. So let's take a watch.
Versus the die-hard or long-term fan. In my videos, I often talk about the casual fan versus the die-hard or long-term fan, where the casual fan,
we call you normies,
looks at what is currently popular and tunes in just because, versus the die-hard fan, who is what makes something popular but was there from the start out of genuine interest. And it's not like a casual fan can't become a die-hard or genuine fan of some sort, eventually developing a desire to learn more, like what Space Marine 2 did for the world of Warhammer, encouraging many to discover more of the lore of that world. Because
I have yet to get into that franchise. I heard that last game was pretty good. But I don't know. I wouldn't jump in just on that game. Probably just like start in the beginning, like to understand the lore.
it was so fascinating. But what usually happens is that the casual fan tends to hop from one trend to the other, only there for the time being and not the long run, and sometimes overstay their welcome when they start suggesting things should change within the fandom because it doesn't suit their needs or what they would like to see, like how many tried to change Elden Ring because it was too hard compared to what they were used to, while longtime fans...
I'm not gonna lie, I will admit, because I'm currently playing Sekiro. Really hard to get it down. See, games like this, like games like that, they don't have a difficulty meter, so you just go into the game and play. But at the same time, I understand why they do it like that because there is a audience for that. So doesn't mean I'm gonna give up on it. I still want to go back and play it. I think Sekiro was like my first time getting into the Souls games because I haven't played any of the Dark Souls games. I haven't played Elden Ring, but I do need to go back into it. I'm literally still in the beginning of the game.
Facing this invasion of not just casual fans but professional activists is anime. Global anime fans want stronger female leads and adult protagonists.
No, they don't. This is definitely written by females who literally got into anime during the pandemic. No one asks us for things like this.
New research finds. A study commissioned by anime streaming giant Crunchyroll and conduct...
Yeah, of course, Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has gone down. Is not the same Crunchyroll as it was before. It's very, very political. Literally in the anime awards, you guys can search it up. Literally, the people who cast their votes for anime of the year, these are people who don't even watch anime that much. So you got people from IGN, literally all these mainstream magazines that literally they'll always bash fans for liking certain things. I would never take a study from Crunchyroll seriously. If this was from Japan, I'll take it seriously. I would not take any study from any organization here in the West seriously when it comes to anime. I'll only take it seriously from Japan only.
By National Research Group reported that 44% of anime fans want to see more strong female leads in their content.
It doesn't matter!
Yeah, that's cap.
What you think?
The research also...
The reason why they're saying this too is because they're saying that mainly for the shonen genre. Because shonen, if you don't know, the shonen is particularly aimed at young boys, boys around 13 and up, teenagers. That's how it's always been for a while now in Japan. That's why most shonen series have a young boy lead. Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Chainsaw Man, etc. And apparently they want more of that. Because I think they talk about how Freerun and Apothecary Diaries are game changers in the industry.
So found that 38% of viewers are asking for an increase in adult protagonists. And they talk about how this study included surveys from around the world of many countries, cultural backgrounds, and age groups basically of the global audience, which I know they would love to strengthen their argument to cater to them more and more as activists do, but you can really miss me with all this. I don't give a shit about studies for the most part anymore. In recent years, they have become so corrupt, which is why they're facing a replication crisis where they can't replicate the same results over and over again, with so many biases put into them with manipulative wording of questions in these surveys to give a forced outcome and result, even with them saying, according to the research, girls now account for 44% of teen anime fans, with the medium now ready to shed its outdated boys-only reputation.
Yeah, these is clearly written by a liberal. This is something that will never be outdated. Because when you look at the numbers overall, it's majority men that watch anime. That is an objective fact. Same thing with comics, with manga. It's mostly men that are buying them, and they're mostly the ones that are watching anime.
I mean, at first, I can't even take this at face value. With people identifying as whatever they want nowadays, this is meaningless to me. And second, I can already feel the bias in this with the statement, the medium is ready to shed its outdated boys-only reputation. I bet you if it was the opposite, they would have said this space needs to be protected as a girl's...
Yeah, if anime was more popular with females, they would have said we need to protect this space from men entering it. They hands down would say some shit like that.
Only fandom. It just adds to what I've said in many videos now, that these people hate anything with a male-dominated audience, especially shonen, having a disdain for it solely because its audience is mainly males, no other reason, and in current day, activists just hate boys and men. In recent times, The Apothecary Diaries and Frieren Beyond Journey's End are two anime series that have gained worldwide acclaim. Both these series feature female protagonists who are strong.
I talked about Frieren before. Like, Frieren's a really good series. Apothecary Diaries is another one too. Like, the most recent episode that came out, really, really good episode, man. I really love this series. I had no idea I was gonna love this series this much. Between these two, I probably would pick, honestly, between these two, I think I would pick Apothecary Diaries. I'm probably saying that just because, like, you know, it's currently still airing because another season came out, and I think he says it here too. Like, they don't treat Frieren and Mao from Apothecary Diaries as like feminists. They treat them as like they are feminine women, you know, and they know how to be women. They're not the type of characters that they'll say like, oh, we don't need a man to like save them, shit like that. They're just really well written characters. And I always said this before, like, countries know how to write female characters compared to here in the West, especially like here in the West now. Because before, the West knew how to write female characters. Now it's just like they make these characters like Mary Sue's, and they have this personality saying, "Oh, I don't need a man to, you know, save me or help me."
And don't conform to the traditional shonen representation. Again, these people hate shonen and will take a shot at it whenever they can. But you know what was also popular, breaking every Crunchyroll record damn near? Solo Leveling. But I don't see any reporting on that.
Yeah, Solo Leveling was Anime of the Year. Mind you, male lead in that series, Korean series. I still say Frieren was robbed for Anime of the Year because of Solo Leveling. I still think Solo Leveling should have never won Anime of the Year, because when you look at what they judged Solo Leveling for in terms of Anime of the Year, they judged it based off the first core or the first season, not this current season that finished airing a few months back. So that's why I say, like, it just makes no sense how it won Anime of the Year. I like Frieren should have won. But yeah, like you said, you know, Solo Leveling is the most popular series on the Crunchyroll platform right now.
Data.
Pay no attention to these hypocrites, Neo.
Because mainly dudes are watching that, and that doesn't fit their narrative. But longtime anime fans understand different genres can exist for different audiences, and sometimes those audiences can overlap. Apothecary Diaries and Solo Leveling can exist in a world for viewers to enjoy at the same time. And just because one is more popular than the other doesn't by default mean the other shouldn't exist. That's the beauty of anime. It provides variety. What I watch Solo Leveling for isn't the same for what I watch Apothecary Diaries for. Solo Leveling offers great action from an OP stoic guy, I know the activists hate that, saving the world, while Apothecary Diaries offers a detective plot with internal politics, and I'm a fan of both. And this is how I know this article speaks to and is filled with casual fan sentiments. These are people who just discovered anime yesterday, and thanks to Medium as a whole started 5 years ago. You can literally go back to the 8.
Yeah, most of these new anime fans are people who got into anime during the pandemic. That's literally what it is. And that's why I'm just starting to look at it now, like, we really need to go back to gatekeeping anime and manga. Like, as much as I don't like when it comes to like things like gatekeeping, but when it comes to anime, manga, and video games to a degree, we really need to go back into gatekeeping it now.
And find anime for your taste of main characters who you may find compelling to watch. You want strong female leads? Watch Black Magic M66, one that I recently watched and enjoyed, Armitage, which you can tell Blade Runner helped influence. Dirty Pair, Yona of the Dawn, Claymore, Revy from Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon is coming back in the manga too. I actually need to rewatch that series. It's been years.
Hell, Project Echo, who literally is a strong female lead able to punch through walls. And this is why the term tourist exists. A fan will actually seek out more of what they want when the medium offers it in abundance, and it's not.
And this is what these people don't understand. They're always asking for like, you know, female leads, more quote unquote representation, female representation, but this is why they don't understand that anime and manga in general is already so diverse because there's so many different genres. Like if you want female leads, go read or watch a josei series or a shoujo. If you want girl on girl love, go watch a Yuri or go watch BL. That they have these genres. That's why I'm just so confused on why they're asking for it when it's always been there.
Hard to find. That's the difference. And they talk about studies, how fans want more LGBT characters and racially diverse. And again, miss me with all this. You literally have genres that cater to this taste. Something that actual
exactly like they have the genres. Like go look for the genres.
Fans will seek
male MC. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see men walking around getting girls. I want to see girls walking around getting girls.
Yeah, these are the modern day anime fans, and it's just really sad.
Where are the Yuri harems? Where are they at? You know,
definitely someone who was born in the 2000s. This is not a 90s baby.
Like SAO is a harem, right? But it's a kind of family friendly-ish, like it's a, you know, mainstream anime. I wanted girl anime that's harem.
They already have series like, see, this is how you know this is someone who is not really deep into anime. This is someone who literally just got into it. Like they have a genre for this already.
Harem base that is like mainstream and like friendly and romantic. That's what I want.
But these aren't.
I mean, in terms of mainstream, obviously those genres are not going to be mainstream because at the end of the day, shonen will always be mainstream. Certain seinen series will be mainstream also, but at the end of the day, it will always be about shonen.
Aren't fans. These are activist-minded people. When they say they want more of what they
this was a show that this was like an original anime that Crunchyroll did. I forgot the name of it. This shit flopped badly. This was literally everything that he was talking about that they did in this series. Female representation, gay characters, all of that. And literally, you don't even know what the plot was. It was just all about the characters, talking about their pronouns, all of that. Like I've seen clips of this slop, and it's just insane that this was even made.
They actually mean is they want all of anime to be this way. Activists don't understand variety. All they know is what they want to exist and forcing it down the public's throat.
Exactly.
They don't like there to be options and competition for people to choose what they like and prefer. Balls, where she'll break your hand and rob you if you ask her.
I'm still confused how this movie, the first movie, made that much money. I mean, it was kind of smart how they did it because they smushed it. I think it was between Infinity War and Endgame, so it's kind of smart how they did it. But I just don't know how this made that much money. Like this movie was, I don't even remember it. This movie was so forgettable.
Smile. That's what they like. They get off on that shit. They don't like anime. They like the popularity it holds and how they can use that to push their agendas. And as far as racially diverse, I really believe people forget anime is a Japanese entity. It's like wanting old kung fu movies to be more diverse even though it comes from China. I truly believe these types of responses comes from those who just discovered anime yesterday and thinks anime started 5 years ago. These are people who love to be part of the...
It's the same thing with gaming too. It's like people who say shit like this are people who literally just got into this stuff like recently.
The global audience narrative that would love to erode Japanese culture from anime and honestly from everywhere. When I watch anime, I don't need the character to look like me to enjoy it. I want to see pure Japanese culture and their philosophy and Eastern mythology built into it, while also admiring how anime includes universal themes that speaks to the human soul.
That's why certain anime has such a place in people's hearts. Like, I'm not caught up in One Piece, but a lot of people love One Piece because of the themes it have. Me personally, Naruto explores those human themes. Me personally, I really connected with certain villains in the series, like Pain. You know, Pain's arguably one of my favorite characters in the entire series. It brings so much relatability to certain characters, and you know, there's something that it's just something they just know how to write characters. The Japanese, they just know how to explore certain themes, and just really make entertainment out of it. And it just amazes me. I look at a series like Doctor Stone. Doctor Stone is a science series, and every time I watch it, I just feel so cool. It feels so cool watching it. Like you learn something new about it. Same thing with a series like Food Wars. Even though Food Wars had some ecchi stuff in there, you know, you learn some stuff about cooking, like medicinal cooking. I never knew that was a thing. Even Vinland Saga. Like I love how the creator mixed in Norse mythology with Japanese themes. I really like that.
That anyone can relate to regardless of what activists say. Why do you think the medium has become so popular in the first place? This is one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but these types would love to break it, then claim you should hire them as consultants to fix what they broke.
And that's exactly what they do, especially in gaming. But for anime, they want these properties, like instead of the fans trying to try to get relatability from certain themes and characters, they automatically want the series or the character to relate to them. You know, like I know everyone knows this trope. Like if they see like a dark skinned character in a series, automatically they have to say, "Oh, this character is black." For example, the bunny girl from My Hero Academia. She has dark skin. Obviously, had a tan, but for some reason everyone claims that she's black. So it's just things like that just ruins the anime experience, in my opinion.
As they have with many industries already, and anime is just their next target. A lot of this makes me wonder what anime will become in the coming years, especially with Toei posting this on their X account, only to pander to the activist-minded people pledging their elite.
I don't think this was Toei Japan. I feel like this is like a Western division they have. I highly doubt this was Japan, because when it comes to certain things like this, like Pride Month, things like Juneteenth, the Japanese don't even know about this stuff. So it's obvious people from the West pushing this slop down their throats, saying that, oh, yo, you have to do this. It's similar to like what localizers are doing to video games. Like for Capcom example, like there was an article that came out saying that apparently Capcom needs to stop making women too sexy, too beautiful. They need to stop making them have revealing outfits and curvy bodies, and it's just like at that point you just want them to look like guys.
Agents, which is very disheartening to see, especially when American companies themselves have backed off from doing this on-the-nose pandering only to save face from these activists that this type of post is meant to please, which is not to say gay people for those looking to take me out of context, but it's meant to please those who are obsessively, politically motivated at every second of their life, and if you aren't with them 100%, they will make your life miserable in a living hell and be the downfall, destruction of whatever you created. But thankfully, I'm not the only one trying to raise concerns with those trying to corrupt anime, with these comments posted below saying, "For the love of, the West has ruined comics and now manga is on the chopping block. Please let manga and anime stay Japanese. It has already been westernized way too much. Go write fan fiction if you want representation or whatever thing you want." What about...
That's literally what it is. If you want this weird stuff in your content, go create something new. Go create your own product. Because they push this slop into the things we like because they need someone to accept their lifestyle. That's literally what it is.
Bunch of BS. If anime doesn't have stories or characters you like, then look elsewhere. Stop trying to change everything in a way that makes it the same as every other crappy piece of fiction from the past 10 years. This approach has caused Marvel and Disney to flop time and time again.
Yep.
The same will happen to anime and manga. This is straight bullshit.
This is bullshit!
Are you aware of the irony of writing an article like this while including an image of Mao Mao and Momo? Yeah, right. I agree. And there's much more where that came from, with others voicing similar opinions, basically telling these journalists and activists, if you don't like what anime already has to offer,
why don't you get the hell out?
Why don't you get out?
Get the fuck out!
But that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, that was a good video, but I'll say this about will anime and manga go down that route. Personally, I don't think it will, because the Japanese, they're really, really strict about their traditions, and not to mention most creatives, like anime producers, presidents, they came out and said that they will not bend the knee to Western ideals when it comes to making their things. I believe the author of Vinland Saga said this. The president of Studio Puro, the studio that's doing Bleach, they said that they won't bend the knee to Western ideals. They will make their art how they envisioned it, and I respect that. And I believe any independent creator should have that same mindset. Do not bend the knee to these activists or these weirdos saying, "Yo, you need to have this in your product." Because at the end of the day, you want to build an audience. You need to you want to appease the fans, and mainly the fans. You have to understand your fans first. So that's where it all comes down to. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. Just mainly those two topics I want to go through with Ironheart and how we should gatekeep anime more. Appreciate you guys joining me. Before I go, I do want to show you guys a preview of next two videos that I do plan to upload. I've been doing some redraws of old artwork I've been working on. Here's like a redraw I did. I did this on my iPad. This is Ironheart from Hell's Paradise. I did a redraw of this. When I do the video, I will show the before and after what she looked like before. I'm really happy with the redraw. I might add some more stuff to this drawing. And the other drawing I did was an Attack on Titan one, like the final scene. Like I said before, I'll show the before and after. I really like how this came out. I might add some more lighting on the back right here. I'll think about it. But yeah, overall, I really like how they came out. I will be uploading these videos on the channel the next few days. Probably start with the Hell's Paradise video first, and then I'll do this one. But yeah, those are just gonna be coming soon. I might go live either tomorrow or Friday. Do a fun live, look at some of my favorite scenes from certain series that I enjoy. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining me tonight on the live. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on social media. All my links are in the channel bio. Join the Discord, and thank you guys for joining. But that's all I have this one. This is the Wave Blur, and I'm signing out.